Over 60? Eat these 3 cheeses to rebuild muscle and fight sarcopenia. The notion that cheese is an unhealthy indulgence, loaded with fat and salt, often overshadows its potential health benefits, particularly for those over the age of 60. However, the truth is far more nuanced. Certain cheeses, when selected and consumed wisely, can become powerful allies in the fight against sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass. This isn't about simply snacking, it's about strategically incorporating nutrient-dense foods that actively support muscle repair and growth. In fact, research and the recommendations of many healthcare professionals are increasingly highlighting the role of specific cheeses in helping seniors over 65 maintain strength, mobility, and independence. For nearly 3 decades, I, Dr. Thomas Reed, have been dedicated to helping older adults regain and preserve their physical capabilities. And during this time, I've discovered a surprising truth. The right kind of cheese is not only safe for this age group, but can be one of the most effective dietary tools for preserving muscle mass. Sarcopenia, often referred to as the silent muscle loss, affects millions and is unfortunately often accepted as an inevitable consequence of aging. However, this is a misconception. Today, we'll delve into 3 accessible and delicious cheeses that can significantly contribute to staying strong, steady, and independent for far longer than one might imagine. It's time to put away the notion that these dairy delights are off limits and instead embrace them as potent, natural, muscle-building resources. You'll want to take notes, as the information that follows can profoundly impact your well-being. Let's begin with cottage cheese, a food that might evoke memories of past diet trends. Far from being just a bland diet staple, this humble cheese is, in reality, one of the most potent muscle-building foods available to older adults. Its muscle-building prowess lies in its exceptional nutritional profile. A mere half-cup serving of low-fat cottage cheese delivers a substantial 14 grams of high-quality protein for a minimal 81 calories. This translates to an astonishing nearly 70% of its caloric content originating from protein, a stark contrast to many other cheeses, where protein constitutes a much smaller percentage of calories. For context, regular cheddar cheese, for instance, derives only about 24% of its calories from protein, illustrating why cottage cheese stands in a league of its own when it comes to muscle support. But the benefits extend beyond sheer protein quantity. Crucially, each half-cup serving of cottage cheese provides over 1 gram of leucine, an essential amino acid often described as the key that unlocks the muscle-building process. As we age, our muscles naturally become less responsive to growth signals, requiring more leucine to effectively trigger the muscle synthesis pathways. The general recommendation for older adults to optimize muscle growth is around 3 grams of leucine per meal. Therefore, a single serving of cottage cheese can provide about 1/3 of this vital amino acid, significantly contributing to your daily intake. What I find particularly valuable about cottage cheese for my older patients is its remarkable ease of consumption. Many seniors struggle with chewing tougher protein sources like red meat or have experienced a diminished appetite due to aging. Cottage cheese, with its soft, creamy texture, is incredibly gentle on the digestive system, making it an ideal choice. It can be enjoyed directly from the container, mixed with fresh fruit for a delightful breakfast, or even blended into smoothies, where its mild flavor is virtually undetectable. The primary protein in cottage cheese is casein, a slow-release protein that is exceptionally beneficial for older adults. Casein steadily delivers amino acids to your muscles over a period of 6 to 8 hours, acting as a continuous muscle protector throughout the day. This slow-releasing quality is especially advantageous at night, as consuming cottage cheese before bed can help mitigate muscle breakdown that naturally occurs during sleep. The scientific evidence supporting cottage cheese for muscle health in seniors is compelling. Studies involving close to 1,000 elderly participants have demonstrated significant muscle mass gains over time when cottage cheese was incorporated into their daily routines. The slow-digesting casein protein proved particularly effective in preserving muscle mass, even during periods of reduced physical activity. To incorporate cottage cheese into your diet for maximum benefit, consider these practical suggestions. For breakfast, mix it with a handful of berries and a light drizzle of honey for a naturally sweet and protein-rich start to your day, providing both muscle-building nutrients and beneficial antioxidants. If you prefer savory flavors, experiment by combining cottage cheese with finely chopped tomatoes, cucumber, and fresh herbs like dill or chives. For lunch, it can serve as a protein-packed base for dips or spreads. At dinner, it can be seamlessly blended into casseroles or used as a lighter, protein-rich substitute for ricotta in pasta dishes. For those who initially find the texture challenging, blending cottage cheese with fruit to create a protein smoothie is an excellent option. You'll reap all the muscle-building rewards without detecting the cheese itself. Some of my patients even creatively use it as a healthier substitute for mayonnaise in chicken or tuna salads. To achieve optimal results, aim for half a cup to a full cup of cottage cheese daily, with a particular emphasis on consuming it at breakfast. After an overnight fast, your muscles are at their most receptive to protein, making a morning serving of cottage cheese an ideal way to optimize muscle protein synthesis for the entire day. Our second muscle-building champion is Parmesan cheese, a food often relegated to a mere sprinkle on pasta, but which, in reality, is a powerhouse of concentrated nutrition. This aged cheese is remarkably nutrient-dense and stands out as one of the most effective muscle-building foods available. The nutritional profile of Parmesan is truly exceptional. A mere 1-ounce serving, roughly the size of your thumb, delivers over 10 grams of complete protein, making it one of the most protein-dense cheeses on the market. This high concentration is particularly valuable for older adults who may naturally consume smaller portion sizes due to changes in appetite or digestion. The magic of Parmesan truly unfolds during its extensive aging process, which for authentic Parmigiano Reggiano typically spans at least 24 months. During this period, natural enzymes within the cheese work diligently to break down the complex proteins into smaller, more easily digestible peptides. This process effectively pre-digests the cheese, making it remarkably gentle on the stomach and digestive system, a critical advantage for older adults whose digestive functions may not be as efficient as they once were. Many of my patients report discomfort or bloating after consuming protein-rich foods, but Parmesan, thanks to its unique aging, is exceptionally well tolerated. Furthermore, after its prolonged aging, authentic Parmesan cheese contains virtually no lactose, rendering it suitable for most individuals who are lactose intolerant. Beyond its impressive protein content, Parmesan is also a significant source of calcium. A 1-ounce serving provides approximately 331 milligrams of calcium, which is about 25% of the recommended daily intake. While calcium is primarily associated with bone health, it plays a crucial role in muscle function as well. Every muscle contraction relies on calcium to operate efficiently. Insufficient calcium levels can hinder optimal muscle function, regardless of protein intake. Recent research has shed light on the fascinating connection between calcium and muscle loss in older adults, revealing that individuals with inadequate daily calcium intake face a substantially higher risk of muscle mass depletion as they age. Thus, by enjoying Parmesan, you're not only fueling muscle building with protein, but also providing the essential calcium your muscles need to contract effectively. Now, the cost of authentic Parmigiano Reggiano might seem like a deterrent. However, its incredible nutrient density means you need only small quantities to reap its benefits. A mere 1 to 2 ounces daily is sufficient to make a significant impact on your muscle health. When grated fresh, this equates to only about 2 tablespoons. Grating your own Parmesan fresh is highly recommended. Those pre-grated containers found in supermarkets simply do not compare in terms of flavor or nutritional value. Freshly grated Parmesan offers a richer taste and a more potent nutritional profile, leading to greater satisfaction with smaller portions. To integrate Parmesan into your daily routine, consider these simple applications. For breakfast, grating it over scrambled eggs provides an excellent protein boost, easily pushing your breakfast protein content over 20 grams. At lunchtime, a generous sprinkle over soups and salads enhances their flavor and nutritional value, making them more satisfying. For dinner, it's a fantastic addition to vegetables, or can be used to create a simple, protein-rich gratin with cauliflower or broccoli. You can even enjoy small chunks of Parmesan as a satisfying snack, perhaps paired with a few nuts or a piece of fruit, offering a delightful combination of protein, calcium, and rich flavor. When purchasing Parmesan, look for authentic wheels labeled Parmigiano Reggiano with the distinctive dotted rind. While the initial investment may seem higher, its concentrated nutrition and superior flavor mean you'll use less, making it an economical and highly beneficial choice in the long run. Our third and final muscle-building secret weapon is ricotta cheese, a fast-acting muscle builder with a unique property that sets it apart from other cheeses. Ricotta is derived from whey, the liquid byproduct of cheesemaking. While it might seem like a mere byproduct, this origin imbues ricotta with remarkable muscle-building capabilities. The key lies in its protein composition. Most cheeses primarily contain casein, a slow-digesting protein. Ricotta, however, boasts a significant amount of whey protein. Whey protein is the fastest absorbing protein available, with your body capable of absorbing and utilizing it within 30 to 60 minutes of consumption. This rapid absorption is particularly crucial for older adults aiming to build and repair muscle. Consider the scenario after a modest bout of physical activity, such as a walk or some light gardening. Your muscles are primed and ready to receive nutrients. Consuming ricotta delivers these fast-absorbing proteins to your muscles precisely when they can be most effectively utilized for repair and growth. A half-cup serving of whole milk ricotta provides approximately 14 grams of protein, similar to cottage cheese, but with a distinct amino acid profile. Ricotta is particularly rich in branched-chain amino acids, BCAAs, a group of amino acids that have the unique ability to travel directly to muscle tissue, bypassing the liver, and immediately begin their work on muscle repair and growth. What makes ricotta especially valuable for older adults is its incredibly smooth and creamy texture. Many individuals with dental issues or difficulty swallowing find ricotta significantly easier to consume than other protein sources. Its naturally mild flavor allows it to complement a wide range of dishes without overpowering them, and it blends seamlessly into both sweet and savory preparations. Ricotta also possesses a natural advantage in its lower sodium content compared to many other cheeses. A half-cup serving contains roughly 100 milligrams of sodium, a fraction of the over 400 milligrams found in some other cheeses. This is important for older adults who often need to manage their sodium intake for cardiovascular health and blood pressure. The scientific evidence supporting ricotta's benefits for seniors is impressive. One study demonstrated that participants who consumed about 3/4 of a cup of ricotta daily not only experienced gains in muscle mass, but also showed improvements in balance and overall physical performance. The male participants, in particular, exhibited dramatic increases in muscle strength within just 90 days. Beyond muscle building, the whey protein in ricotta has also been shown to contribute to lower blood pressure and improved cardiovascular health, offering a dual benefit that is highly valuable for older adults. Ricotta's versatility in the kitchen is astounding. Unlike the distinct texture of cottage cheese, ricotta's smoothness and mild flavor make it adaptable to nearly any dish. For breakfast, mix it with a touch of honey and cinnamon and spread it on whole grain toast, creating a protein-rich alternative to cream cheese. At lunchtime, ricotta serves as an excellent base for dips. Blend it with herbs and serve with vegetables, or use it as a spread in sandwiches. For dinner, it can be used to stuff vegetables like bell peppers or zucchini layered in casseroles or stirred into pasta sauces to impart creaminess and boost protein content. Ricotta can even be enjoyed as a healthy dessert. Mix it with cocoa powder and honey for a delicious chocolate mousse, or blend it with fruits for a protein-packed smoothie. Some individuals have found success incorporating ricotta into baking, using it to replace some of the flour in pancakes or muffins to enhance their protein content. When selecting ricotta, opt for whole milk varieties to maximize protein and satiety. While part-skim versions are lower in calories, they may not offer the same profound muscle-building benefits. Look for brands with minimal ingredients, ideally just milk, a coagulant like vinegar or citric acid, and a touch of salt. The optimal time to consume ricotta is within 2 hours following any form of physical activity, even something as gentle as gardening or a leisurely walk. Due to its fast-absorbing whey protein, ricotta ensures rapid amino acid delivery to your muscles during that critical window when they are most receptive to repair and growth. Now that we've identified the ideal cheeses for muscle rebuilding, let's discuss the crucial aspect of timing their consumption for maximum efficacy. Recent research has unveiled fascinating insights that challenge long-held beliefs about meal timing. For years, the conventional wisdom has dictated that dinner should be the largest meal of the day. However, when it comes to building muscle after the age of 60, breakfast emerges as the most critical opportunity. This importance stems from the physiological state of your body after an overnight fast. Typically, you've been without food for 8 to 10 hours, during which your body may have begun breaking down muscle tissue to provide necessary energy for essential bodily functions. Your first meal of the day is your prime chance to shift your body's metabolic state from muscle breakdown to muscle building. Scientific studies indicate that older adults who consume 25 to 30 grams of protein at breakfast experience significantly better muscle protein synthesis throughout the entire day compared to those who start their day with a typical low-protein breakfast of toast and coffee. Alarmingly, the majority of individuals over 60 consume only about 8 grams of protein at breakfast, which is far from sufficient to initiate the muscle-building process effectively. This is precisely where our 3 featured cheeses become invaluable tools. A well-structured breakfast incorporating half a cup of cottage cheese mixed with berries and topped with an ounce of freshly grated Parmesan can provide an impressive 24 grams of high-quality protein along with over 2 grams of leucine. This combination is robust enough to effectively trigger the transition from muscle breakdown to muscle building. However, strategic timing extends beyond breakfast. It involves optimizing protein distribution throughout the entire day. Many older adults adhere to what I term the light-heavy eating pattern, consuming minimal protein at breakfast and lunch, then attempting to compensate with a large portion of protein at dinner. Unfortunately, this approach is not ideal for aging muscles. Your muscles can effectively utilize only about 25 to 35 grams of protein at any single instance for the purpose of building new muscle tissue. Consuming 60 grams of protein at dinner, for example, means the excess cannot be stored for later muscle synthesis. It's akin to trying to water a plant by dumping an entire bucket at once, rather than providing smaller, consistent amounts. The optimal dietary pattern for combating muscle loss involves consuming 25 to 30 grams of protein at each main meal. This could translate to cottage cheese with fruit for breakfast, a sandwich featuring ricotta and vegetables for lunch, and your regular dinner enhanced with a serving of freshly grated Parmesan. There's an additional timing secret that can further amplify your results. If you engage in any form of physical activity, even a brief 15-minute walk or light gardening, aim to consume one of these muscle-building cheeses within 2 hours afterward. Research consistently shows that the synergy between physical activity and protein intake creates a much more potent muscle-building response than either stimulus alone. This does not necessitate rigorous exercise. Even gentle activities such as walking, stretching, or performing household chores provide the kind of muscle stimulus that pairs exceptionally well with protein consumption. The key is to remain active and then fuel your muscles with the right nutrients. A frequently asked question among my patients concerns the precise quantity of cheese they should be consuming daily. Based on robust research demonstrating optimal outcomes, here are specific practical guidelines. First, let's establish your overall protein requirements. Current recommendations for adults over 60 suggest an intake of 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. To calculate your individual need, Divide your weight in pounds by 2.2 to convert it to kilograms, and then multiply that figure by 1.2. For instance, if you weigh 150 pounds, that is approximately 68 kilograms. Multiplying 68 by 1.2 yields a daily protein target of about 82 grams. It's important to emphasize that cheese should not be the sole source of protein. A balanced nutritional intake is paramount. However, cheese can contribute a significant portion, particularly during meals where other protein sources might be less abundant. Based on the most effective research studies, I recommend aiming for 2 to 3 servings of our featured muscle-building cheeses daily, with each serving providing 10 to 15 grams of protein. This could manifest as half a cup of cottage cheese at breakfast, an ounce of Parmesan at lunch, and a third of a cup of ricotta at dinner. This combination alone can provide approximately 35 to 40 grams of protein from cheese, representing roughly half of your daily protein needs. I understand that concerns about calorie and fat content may arise. While cheese does contain fat, it's crucial to remember that we are discussing specific, controlled portions, not unlimited consumption. The total caloric intake from these suggested cheese servings would typically range from 300 to 400 calories per day, which is entirely reasonable within a balanced dietary framework. The most critical factor for success is consistency. The studies that yielded the most remarkable results involved participants consuming cheese every single day for a minimum of 60 to 90 days. Sporadic consumption, once or twice a week, will not yield significant muscle gains. Consider it akin to taking a daily vitamin. It needs to become a regular, integrated part of your routine. I often advise my patients to view their consistent cheese intake as an investment in their future independence. The relatively small increase in caloric intake now could be the deciding factor between easily climbing stairs at age 80 or facing challenges with fundamental daily activities. While scientific evidence unequivocally supports cheese consumption as a potent tool against muscle loss, combining it with appropriate exercise amplifies these benefits exponentially, creating what scientists refer to as a synergistic effect. The outcomes achieved through this combined approach far exceed what could be attained from either cheese or exercise in isolation. The most effective form of exercise for building muscle is resistance training. Before you envision heavy weights and complex gym equipment, let me reassure you. Resistance training for older adults can be remarkably simple, involving activities like rising and sitting from a chair, performing wall push-ups, or utilizing elastic resistance bands. Research consistently demonstrates that when resistance exercises are performed, followed by the consumption of one of our recommended muscle-building cheeses within 2 hours, your muscles exhibit a significantly stronger anabolic response than they would to the cheese alone. In fact, this powerful combination has been shown to restore what researchers term a youthful muscle-building response, even in individuals over 80 years old. The beauty of this approach lies in its flexibility. You do not need to engage in strenuous exercise daily. Scientific evidence suggests that resistance training just 2 to 3 times per week is sufficient to maintain and build muscle mass when coupled with adequate protein intake. On days when formal exercise is not undertaken, continuing your consistent cheese consumption will provide your muscles with the steady nutrition they require. Furthermore, everyday activities can be considered forms of resistance training. Gardening, carrying groceries, ascending stairs, and even vigorous housework all provide the kind of muscle stimulation that works synergistically with protein intake. The key is to maintain an active lifestyle and subsequently nourish your muscles with the appropriate nutrients. While cheese offers a powerful avenue for muscle development, it is essential to address certain considerations, particularly for individuals with specific health conditions. Let's begin with lactose intolerance, a condition that becomes more prevalent with age. Fortunately, the cheeses we've discussed are generally much better tolerated than milk. Aged Parmesan, due to its extensive aging process, contains virtually no lactose. Cottage cheese and ricotta do contain some lactose, but significantly less than milk. If you are lactose intolerant, it's advisable to start with small amounts and monitor your body's response. lactase enzyme supplements taken prior to cheese consumption can also be beneficial. For individuals managing high blood pressure, sodium content is a critical consideration. Parmesan, owing to its aging process, is naturally higher in sodium. Cottage cheese, however, varies widely by brand. Some contain over 400 mg of sodium per half cup, while low-sodium versions can have less than 100 mg. Ricotta, on the other hand, is inherently lower in sodium. When shopping, prioritize low-sodium options whenever available, and ensure your overall diet is rich in fresh fruits and vegetables to help balance sodium intake. Regarding cholesterol levels, reassuring news has emerged from recent large-scale studies involving thousands of participants. These studies indicate that cheese consumption, when integrated into a balanced diet, does not significantly elevate the risk of heart disease for most individuals. The key lies in portion control and making informed cheese choices. Adhering to the recommended serving sizes and considering lower-fat options such as part-skim ricotta or low-fat cottage cheese can further mitigate concerns. For those taking blood-thinning medications like warfarin, maintaining consistent daily cheese intake is important. Cheese contains vitamin K, which can interact with these medications if consumed inconsistently. The solution is not to avoid cheese, but to ensure a steady intake and to inform your physician about your dietary choices. Individuals with kidney disease or compromised kidney function must be mindful of high protein intake, which can be problematic. If you have any kidney-related health issues, it is imperative to consult with your doctor before significantly increasing your protein intake from cheese or any other source. To effectively implement these powerful strategies for muscle building, let's create a practical, actionable plan you can begin today. The initial step involves transforming your breakfast into a potent muscle-building meal. Within an hour of waking, consume between half a cup and a full cup of cottage cheese. For a delightful and antioxidant-rich breakfast, mix it with fresh berries. If you prefer savory flavors, combine it with chopped tomatoes and fresh herbs. If cottage cheese doesn't appeal to you initially, try ricotta spread on whole grain toast, perhaps with a drizzle of honey and a sprinkle of cinnamon. The overarching goal for breakfast is to achieve 25 to 30 grams of protein, setting a strong foundation for muscle building throughout the day. For your midday meal, find inventive ways to incorporate Parmesan into your lunch. Grate a generous ounce over your salads, soups, or sandwiches. Its rich, savory flavor not only enhances other foods, but also contributes to greater meal satisfaction. If you opt for a lighter lunch, consider using ricotta as a base for a spread or dip, accompanied by fresh vegetables. Remember, the aim is to consume another 25 to 30 grams of protein at lunch to sustain consistent muscle support. At dinner, strategically employ cheese to amplify the protein content of your evening meal. If your meal includes pasta, stir ricotta into the sauce to enhance its creaminess and protein density. For vegetable dishes, a generous topping of freshly grated Parmesan is an excellent choice. If your main protein source, such as meat or fish, already provides ample protein, you might use a smaller amount of cheese or reserve it for an evening snack. Keep these muscle-building cheeses readily accessible for snacks as well. Small containers of cottage cheese, pre-portioned ricotta, or a few chunks of Parmesan can provide a quick nutritional boost after physical activity or between meals when you need an energy lift. Consider a simple 10-minute exercise routine. This could involve rising and sitting from a chair 10 times, performing 10 wall push-ups, and lifting your arms up and down with light weights or even water bottles. This gentle, low-impact routine requires minimal time. If you follow this activity with a snack of cottage cheese or a meal that includes Parmesan or ricotta, your muscles will utilize that protein far more effectively than if you had consumed the cheese while remaining sedentary. It's as if the exercise awakens your muscles, making them more receptive to the nutrients you provide. I highly recommend keeping a simple journal for the initial few weeks. Document the types of cheese you consume, the quantities, and the timing of your meals. After 2 weeks, begin to notice any shifts in your energy levels, how you feel when performing daily tasks, or your overall sense of strength. By the 30-day mark, you may observe that activities such as carrying groceries or getting up from chairs feel somewhat easier. After 90 days, significant improvements in muscle strength and overall physical function should be evident. As we conclude our discussion, I want to provide you with clear, actionable steps you can take starting today to embark on your muscle-building cheese journey. First, make a trip to your local grocery store and procure all 3 of the cheeses we've discussed: cottage cheese, authentic Parmesan, and ricotta. Purchase enough for at least 1 week to allow you to experiment with various preparations and discover what you enjoy most. Second, take a moment to calculate your daily protein needs using the simple formula I shared. Write this target number down and place it in a visible location, such as on your refrigerator, as a daily reminder of your goal. Third, plan your meals for tomorrow, ensuring that each meal contains 25 to 30 grams of protein, with at least 1 of our 3 featured. Muscle-building cheeses incorporated. Fourth, if you're not currently engaged in any form of physical activity, begin with just 5 minutes of simple movements. This could include rising and sitting from a chair, performing wall push-ups, or lifting light weights or water bottles. Aim to do this just 2 or 3 times this week. The goal is not to overwhelm yourself. Fifth, mark your calendar for 90 days from today. This will be your designated time to reflect on how you feel, assess your increased strength, and note any tangible changes in your daily life. Many individuals are genuinely astounded by the transformations they experience within just 3 months. Remember, muscle loss is not an inevitable consequence of aging. By integrating these 3 cheeses into your daily diet, coupled with the strategies I've outlined, you can effectively maintain and even rebuild muscle mass throughout your 70s, 80s, and beyond. The scientific evidence is clear, the approach is straightforward, and the potential for positive change is substantial. However, knowledge without action remains inert. The critical question now is whether you will take that initial step. Will you purchase cottage cheese and enjoy it for breakfast tomorrow morning? Will you grate fresh Parmesan over your lunch? Will you commit to 90 days of consistent cheese consumption to witness the remarkable potential of your body? I believe you will, because I firmly believe that everyone deserves to age with strength, confidence, and independence. These 3 simple cheeses can serve as your allies on this journey. Utilize them wisely, consume them consistently, and prepare to be amazed by your body's response. Your muscles are ready and waiting for the essential nutrients they need to rebuild and grow stronger. With cottage cheese, Parmesan, and ricotta by your side, you possess all the necessary resources for success. It is never too late to begin building muscle, and now you possess the exact roadmap to achieve it. Thank you for dedicating this time to me today. Here's to your health, your strength, and many more years of sustained independence and vitality. Now go enjoy some cheese. Your future self will undoubtedly thank you.